All right. So this one's from Malaga. First of all, I should say hi. I'm Connor. I'm one of the coaches at Chasing Better Coburn. I've been at Chasing Better. I was initially a member since 2018, I think, and then I started coaching in late 2019 off the top of my head. So I've been pretty involved in the coaching side of things at Coburn for quite a while now, especially after the pandemic, if you can remember. As far as an intro goes, I am the head coach there, and hopefully I will be able to pop down to Malaga a little bit going forward just to say hi and also to do some assessment of some of the coaching at the gym as well, which I look forward to meeting a lot of you guys. I only know a few of you, so it'd be nice to meet some of you guys and put a name to the face, or face to the name, should I say. Now, as far as programming goes, so basically run you guys through first things first, what I actually am shooting for, and like the program focus and service. So number one is our regard, at least for our demographic at our gym. We're looking at health first as the main priority. So where we are still obviously looking to improve in regards to performance and aesthetics, but we aren't trying to beat down on the members. We want them to feel good and to feel healthy and, have like a good hormonal response to training. We want their volume management to be good so that their bodies aren't pulling up sore and they aren't getting injured or beaten down upon. So the main priority at the end of the day, reflected in the programming, is we want people to be strong, happy, and healthy. Okay, and then the performance and aesthetics come in second block. So, like it says here, for the general population, so we're looking to make your mum and pop, your average Joe feel good, versus we're not trying to make the next Rich Froning or the next Tia Claire Toomey, that kind of thing. We're more so just looking to provide people with an excellent hour to their day and provide them with a good service that keeps them fit, healthy, strong, feeling good, enjoying what they do, and having a very positive relationship with fitness. Now, going along with that being said, we are also looking for this minimum required dose kind of thing for adaptation. So for someone like playing or trying to become a games athlete, you're going to give them the maximum dose because they are trying to tolerate the volume, and it's a volume sport. We're more so centered around looking at programming for a training methodology, right? Like the Greg Glassman quote, it's constantly varied functional movements and done at a high intensity. So constant variation between movement patterns, for sure. We're going to see varied time caps, following some structure to progress. So we're not just going to do things completely randomly. There will still be some structure, but the goal there will be some variation in training day to day. Functional movements, of course, so generally you're going to see a variation of pushing, some pulling, some hinging, some squatting, some single leg movements. You guys obviously will be able to give me some feedback as well. If you feel necessary, feel free to message me. I'm more than happy to keep a good branch of communication. On top of that, we're looking at a healthy mix of fun and function. So although I understand that, people do want to be healthy and they do also want to, do things logically, at the same time, there is still that emotional need to keep things entertaining and keep them enjoyable. So some stuff might not necessarily be the most, what's the word I'm looking for here? It might not be the most, maybe it is quite impractical, but as long as it has some blend of fun that's reasonable and safe, we are going to be seeing that. But then also we have a balanced amount of functional work. Okay, so sometimes doing things a little bit slower, taking the pace back a little bit, or making things a little bit different, just for the sake of actually logically building up your fitness versus just kind of throwing stuff at people. Last things to mention as well, the coaches will have some diligence to meet the needs of the member. So I know when I first started CrossFit, I didn't care as much about the health side of things. Like obviously I wanted to stay healthy-ish, but I was all about performance. You might have someone who's a little bit, maybe they're coming from the bodybuilding side of things. They want to maintain, their aesthetics, or you might have someone who couldn't care less about competing, which I'm sure you may have. They don't care about competing. They don't care about aesthetics. They just want to be healthy and be able to play with their kids or grandchildren or whatever it may be. Maybe they just want to be able to move pain free. Okay, so as the coach, it's on you to modify the programming accordingly to meet the needs of the member. Okay, so for example, if we just break down on Monday, let's say they don't want to snatch, or they can't squat snatch, or for whatever reason, I would be maybe giving out like something like a hang power clean and like a front squat or something like that. Okay, just because I know they couldn't give two hoots about snatching or learning how to snatch. They just need to get a good workout in and challenge themselves. So something like a hang power clean, pretty straightforward, pretty easy to do, fairly safe as well. And then a front squat, most people can do a front squat of some variation. That way we're still preserving the stimulus of that explosive dynamic movement like a hang power snatch. And then we have that squatting motion in there as well. Then in terms of the workout, same thing. They might not give two hoots about deadlifting heavy or doing toaster bar, or maybe they just move terribly for whatever reason. I would just be modifying that to some kind of hinging motion and some kind of a core movement. So they might be doing instead of a deadlift, they might do like a kettlebell swing, and then instead of a toaster bar, their movement might be like a V up or a knee raise, or it could even be like a sit up. Right, so just modifying to the needs of the members. On the other end of the spectrum, you might have a very competitive athlete. That'd be fine with the snatch progressions. Maybe you can do more volume with the workout, potentially, changing the stimulus up a little bit. So you might go, okay, you're going to do 30, 20, 10 reps, or you might be doing a heavier deadlift. We might drop the reps down and go even heavier still, might bump up the toaster bar, maybe specify that it has to be unbroken, something like that, where you're kind of meeting the member where they are versus trying to like completely change the programming to suit one person. Just kind of meet that member in the middle versus, if that makes sense. Now, off the rambling tangent. So, as far as the programming goes, to break down the days, we are deep into a training block here at Coburn. So you guys are, unfortunately, you're basically picking up right towards the end, which is not the end of the world. I would just be stressing the members that you haven't done all the work, and this is more of like you can just say you're getting a baseline for metrics. At the end of this training block, we're going to deload all together, so we'll have a solid week where we just relax, settle back into a good rhythm, and then we're going to start up our new training block. As far as what we've done, we started off all the way back here, so we deloaded after the open. We had our week 1, if you want to have a look, way back when. We started off with some snatch technique, some health work, we had some conditioning, but wasn't anything too ridiculous. We had some upper body health work. We had some energy system work, which we started. A little bit of hinging, just some touches, long workout, partner workouts on Saturday, and then some games on Sunday. From there, we then progressed through a full hypertrophy block, so built up some muscle mass and some joint health. Then we started our strength block way back with our ollie lifting. We had some seated press, some front squats, etc. Then we built all the way up to this week. This is the end of our strength block, really learning how to fire the nervous system, recruit muscle mass and our nervous system, and then hopefully to express strength better. Next week, we've got our taper week. So with the taper, we'll be looking at, like I said, dropping down volume and then keeping and or maintaining intensity, getting ready for a solid testing week the next week, with the goal of obviously testing power snatch, testing press and pull, and testing our front squat as well. Now, once this is done, we'll then be moving to our next block. We're going to get some feedback from our members, where we'd love to get some feedback from yours as well. And then we'll kind of be working on our next big training phase once again, kind of resetting, going back to the basics again, and hopefully doing it again. Sweet. All right. If you have any questions at all, please ask. Any questions about programming, please ask. And then obviously feel free to refer to any of the people handling the programming on your end. Yeah, sweet. Any questions? Enjoy.